High maintenance host. New details surfacing about possible reasons Keith Olberman fired from Current TV. Turns out emails reveal he complained his drivers smelled and talked to him too much. The company going through 8 different car companies in less than a year. And the might of the Israeli military, the blaze with brand new pictures of the brand new guns Israel will use if war breaks out in the region. And you can watch the videos on The Blaze of the soldiers practicing with the Negev machine gun, which is reportedly very reliable in extreme conditions such as mud, dirt, and snow. I'm Robin Walensky. These stories and so much more on theblaze.com.
I demand we do more Keith Olberman before the end of this program today. I demand it.
More Keith Olberman?
We need to talk about Keith Olberman's firing. We were on vacation. We've missed the whole party. And, we're talking about Ozzie Guillen, who's, suspended.
Well, we haven't talked
comments.
about Sotomayor, who's... All right. Keith Olberman.
Finally.
Gosh, he lost his job.
Yeah, while we were on vacation. Who saw that one coming?
Almost everybody.
Almost everybody.
But,
Keith Olberman is a despicable human being. And I only say that because of the overwhelming evidence.
That he's a despicable human being?
Yeah,
yes.
no, I mean,
I
shouldn't say that. No, you know what? Let me not judge.
No, because look, I mean, he said a lot of really, I think, peaceful things. And he tries to tamp down hateful rhetoric.
You're right.
He goes out of his way to make sure that everybody's trying to get along.
Right. And he does it in a Shakespearean sort of way.
Which I like a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
It's a nice touch.
Refresh our memory.
All right, things like this.
If Glenn Beck, who obsesses nearly as strangely as this Mr. Loeffner did about gold and debt, and who wistfully joked about killing Michael Moore, and Bill O'Reilly, who blithely repeated "Tiller the Killer" until the phrase was burned into the minds of his viewers. If they do not begin their next broadcasts with solemn apologies for ever turning to the death fantasies and the dreams of bloodlust, for ever having provided just the oxygen to those deep in madness to whom violence is an acceptable solution, then those commentators and the others must be repudiated by their viewers and listeners.
He's right. And that's why you don't like him, because he's repudiating you, or saying that you should, in fact, be repudiated because of your violent rhetoric.
What, violent rhetoric?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's saying it in a very good way, too. A really cool,
Shakespearean,
sort of poetic, sort of, feedst thy light's flame with self-substantial fuel kind of way.
Yes. Where dost that come from? Find something like that.
Here's another example of
hang
the peaceful
on,
man
just
he
so
is.
you know, this is going to get really good.
It is.
It's going to get really good.
And I urge politicians and commentators and citizens of every political conviction to use my comment as a means to recognize the insidiousness of violent imagery, that if it can go so easily and slip into the comments of one as opposed to violence as me.
That's what he's so opposed to violence and violent rhetoric. Yeah. That's what I loved about Keith.
Right, sure.
And still do. I mean, he'll find
he doesn't like violent
somewhere.
rhetoric.
He's
hates deeply opposed to it.
He wants it shunned.
We should not, none of us, not Gabby Giffords, not any conservative, ever have to pour our blood. And every politician and commentator who hints otherwise, or worse still stays silent now, should have no place in our political system and should be denied that place, not by violence, but by being shunned and ignored.
Thyself thy foe.
I, as a commentator, will order an order of tater tots.
Right.
A tater tots. Right. They are delicious.
Commentator tots.
Commentator
Maybe
tots.
that's what he's going to do. He's going to open up a little commentator shack.
Commentator
shop. And they're common tator tots. I like it.
Yeah.
Keith, you can have that.
It's a good idea.
You can have that idea.
But as you guys heard, though, he's
paper hat.
Violently opposed to violence.
He is very upset about the bloodlust in our society. He is worried about death fantasies. He is very opposed to violent imagery, and in fact, very specifically opposed to violent imagery when it's used in wistful jokes.
Okay, so I want you to know this is where it gets good. This is where it gets good. This is where you're going to enjoy it. Here comes some good, just a big heaping helping of everything that you really like. Go ahead.
2 years after the tape you just heard are some emails that have come out in the lawsuit against Keith Olberman by Current, the news services.
television.
Whatever, I guess you call it television.
Yeah.
In response to an email from a current employee.
Yes.
About complications related to Michael Moore's appearance on Countdown. Okay. So he had a guest on, Michael Moore, and there were some technical difficulties.
Okay.
Which happens from time to time.
And what happened to the commentator?
Commentator Keith Olberman
Yes.
Wrote to his boss, quote, "Give me a name so I know which of them to kill with my bare hands," end quote.
But did he say it in Shakespearean?
No.
Give me their name so I may kill them myself.
Out,
with
damn blood spot that I have caused.
All right, but he was saying it wistfully?
He must have been wistfully joking, but that's exactly what he was opposed to. Would you count that as a death fantasy or some bloodlust in there? How about this? In response to learning that a photograph of the set of the show was disclosed to the press by the set designer.
Oh man!
Now remember, that's brutal. Like
that's
a leaked photo of your set.
That never.
That's
happens,
something to be.
And that's something that everybody would have paid for. It would be like the Brad Pitt baby pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
But surely Keith, being the lover of peace that he is, took it in stride.
A person who would have the words that we just played as in a response to an assassination, he would feel that heartfelt, that all this language should go away, said again to his boss, quote, "Can you assassinate him, please?" Which is an interesting phrasing because that's the exact thing he was so upset about on television in public, but behind the scenes was threatening his staff and his boss and people who leaked photographs with assassination and
let's
death.
Not forget that let's not forget that he's a human being. Let's have a moment of silence for the loss of Keith Olberman. Okay, that's enough. And
I felt it deeply.
Wow.
Did you?
I really
that
did.
time we had enough time to reflect.
I don't know
on
if
all
I
the
had
things.
enough. Could we get a little more? Is that
let me give another another moment of silence here for the loss of Keith Olberman. Okay,
that was some deep reflection.
That one hit me.
That one
hit me
really
hard.
Impact you?
Oh my gosh, deeply in my soul.
I still can't find Current on television. I don't even know where it is.
I have no idea. I don't think it's on my system, whatever I have, cable, satellite, whatever I subscribe to.
Yeah, well, he can always go into the internet business.
He had.
You know what? That'll go well. You should do this, Keith. You should start a subscription-based internet.
Yes, please do that.
Please
do that.
I know. You could do what Oprah did and start a new network because she only lost $150 million on that one. You could do that one too.
No, I would say specifically I'd like him to go into the subscription business because he was tweeting like crazy about what failures we were
he was.
in the subscription business. I'd like to let's see the numbers. Let's see how many people subscribe to your channel that you start Keith Olberman.
It'd be nice to compare apples to apples because we were beating the crap out of him when he was on cable television.
Yeah.
So
we were beating the crap out of him when he was on cable television, MSNBC.
3-1.
And we were on Fox. 3 to 5 to 1, and then when we were on the internet,
GBTV,
and he
compared
was
to
on
his cable channel,
we were beating the snot out of him there too.
Yeah.
So
may I just say though to Keith, thou that art now the world's fresh ornament, thyself thy foe, to thy sweet self too cruel. I don't really know what that means, but
Shakespeare kind of sucked. I gotta say,
he really wasn't
overrated.
That,
not that good. Not that good. I didn't even understand that. So I mean,
that's why
he didn't make a lot of sense, did he?
No.
That's why if there were a show on tonight, you might make it to the worst person in the world. Unfortunately, Keith Olberman had that segment assassinated.